Hello everyone, welcome back to another video. My dear friends, in this video I will talk about English grammar. That is it grammar important for speaking English or not? So I'm talking about non-native speakers. Here I live in Pakistan, so I'm non-native speaker. So what happens basically when we talk about English language skills, there are 4 skills. LSRW: listening, speaking, reading and writing. But we need 2 other sub skills like grammar and vocabulary. Because we are non-native speakers here in Pakistan, in most of the schools grammar generative method is being used to teach the students. That's why we need these 2 sub skills, grammar and vocabulary, in order to speak English. So what happens? We become habitual of translation method. We translate from our mother tongue to target language. And whenever there comes a sentence in English, we think in Urdu. We translate in Urdu. Then we understand its meaning. And we become habitual of this process. That's why we are unable to speak English fluently and effortlessly. What happens? The most educated people, they know about English, they know each and everything about English, tenses, grammar, parts of speech, all the other ornaments of English language. But when they try to speak English, they get stuck. What's the problem? It happened with me and I have been facing, but now Alhamdulillah, I can speak English more effortlessly because now I have started thinking in English. Now I'm not translating in my head. I can speak English effortlessly. I can understand native speakers also because now I think in English. So what happens? Now, why grammar is important? Grammar is very important because when we construct sentences, we need correct grammar. And in grammar, there are 12 tenses. There are 12 tenses. There are main 3 periods of time: present, past and future. Each time period has 4 types of actions. For example, there is present tense, and present tense has 4 further types: present indefinite tense, present continuous tense, present perfect tense and present perfect continuous. So same past and future. There are 12 tenses. But believe me, you need only 5 tenses to speak more than 80% English. If you know present indefinite tense, for example, I eat, we eat, he eats, he plays, he does not play, we do not play. This is present indefinite tense. I'm playing, we are going to Karachi, we are eating mangoes, we are having lunch. So this is present continuous tense. And what is past? Past indefinite tense, past continuous and future indefinite tense. So these 5 tenses will make you able to speak more than 80% English. And next comes vocabulary. So vocabulary is very important. If you know grammar and you don't know vocabulary, then you will not be able to speak English. Because vocabulary and grammar are part and parcel of each other. So you must know grammar and you must be having sufficient vocabulary. But if you know 1000 words, you can speak English fluently. But for the limited things. But if you know 2000 words, more than 2000 words, like 3000 words, you can talk about anything in English. I'm talking about daily conversation. The language for communication. I'm not talking about the language for medical field, for engineering. There are different fields, there are different professions, and each profession has their own vocabulary. So if you want to communicate in English, if you want to conversate in English, if you want to talk about your daily routine, you need only 2,000 to 3,000 words. And you must know the basic grammar. Then comes practice, because everyone says practice makes a person perfect. Without practice, you cannot master this skill. Because tell me any profession, like any driver, only watching my videos on YouTube, one cannot become a good driver. And same as one cannot become a good chef only by watching cooking videos on YouTube. So every profession needs practice. And when we talk about English speaking skill, it is a skill. And for mastering any skill, you need to go for practice. And learning any second language is not impossible. It's possible because it's innate process. Everyone can learn, anyone can acquire any second language. So this acquisition process requires certain aspects like listening. You need input. Input means listening and reading. Listening will improve your pronunciation because pronunciation is very important. Because pronunciation makes you comprehensible. So if you are comprehensible, people understand your message, then you are a fluent person. And you need active vocabulary to speak English. So this is an integrated process. When you go for it, this is a process. So start believing in the process. Because if you are impatient person and you want to speak English within a limited time period, it's impossible. It's a gradual process. Gradual, with the passage of time, you acquire language and your brain will start making connections, and ultimately you will be able to speak English fluently and effortlessly. When we say like a native speaker, it means that when you are comprehensible. As long as you are comprehensible to other people, accent doesn't matter. Your pronunciation must be good because we are Pakistani and we have our own accent, a neutral accent. So pronunciation should be correct. So it's okay. And don't feel embarrassed with your mistakes. If you are making mistakes, it means this is a good sign. You are on the right track because mistakes are good on the learning process. So if you are a Mr. Perfect or Miss Perfect, then you will never be able to grab the main skills like English speaking skill. So keep in mind, have a learner's attitude. Then you will learn to speak English effortlessly and fluently. We'll see you very soon in the next video. Stay blessed.